Hey guys, how you doing? Good morning. My name is Matt Shoemaker and this is Tech Forum. On this channel I discuss my Tesla Model 3, what the ownership experience is like with nearly 40,000 miles on it already, and some technical projects that I build. But I also I do appliance repair for a living, and I discuss appliance repair related topics. And today's topic, how to choose or what to look for in a servicer. Now, anybody who has been on their own for more than a year has had an appliance break down, and it can be quite a daunting task to either do internet research and figure out what's wrong and try and fix it on your own, or sometimes even worse, just trying to find a servicer that you can hire that's going to be reputable, honest, reasonable, and all those things that you're looking for. So in this video, I wanted to discuss really what do you want to look for. Now, I'm an honest servicer. Of course, anyone in any industry is going to tell you they're very good at what they do. So, but what I always tell people is they'll call and ask me, how long have I been doing this, or do you know what you're doing? How good are you at your trade? Well, everyone's going to tell you that they do a good job, but in our era of the internet, you can find pretty easily the information that you're looking for regarding any specific servicer. So a couple of things that I would recommend. First, general principle. Now, I'm probably going to get attacked in the comments section by servicers that don't necessarily fit this mold, but in general, at least in our area, I live in northern Illinois in the U.S. In our area, generally speaking, you want to stay away from any company that starts their name with the letter A. Now, this is an archaic thing that goes back to when print advertising was the primary means of acquiring new work, whether it be the Yellow Pages or, directories or whatever. What people would do is, what contractors would do is they would start their name with the letter A, and that way in print advertising, everything went in alphabetical order. And the more A's you have at the beginning of your name, the better. So the word appliance already starts with A. So guys would make, A1 appliance or AAA appliance or whatever, and that would give them multiple A's at the beginning of their name and would assure that their company would show up first on the list in print advertising. Now, with the era of the internet, that isn't as true. But you have to remember, most companies that are around have been around for enough years that principle used to hold true. So we still have this remnant of companies that are either dishonest or do poor service or whatever that start their name with A. Now, there may be a few decent ones out there, but if you start your name with the letter A and you're an honest company, I apologize, but I got to tell you, here in northern Illinois, it's not that all crooked companies start with A, but seemingly all companies that start with A are problematic. And so take that how you will, but again, it's a general principle that I've noticed in the 27 years of doing this that very much holds true. Secondly, if you are contacting a service company verbally by phone, generally speaking, the telephone operator that you speak with is going to be a decent representation of the company as a whole. And what I mean by that is, if the person answering the phone is rude or very short with you, that's a pretty decent reflection of what the company as a whole is going to be like. And if you think about it, I've mentioned this to people before, and they've said, well, just because the receptionist is nasty doesn't mean the company's good. Well, think about it. Why would a good, reputable, honest company want to hire somebody that is nasty with their clients? And on the flip side, any secretary or telephone operator that applies for a job, gets hired, and ends up working at a company that everyone there is a nightmare, if she's a decent, soft-spoken, nice person, she's probably not going to make it there very long. Though generally speaking, I've found that companies that do poor service tend to have rude telephone operators. And I would say, I don't know, probably 75% of the time that's true. Now, you can catch a person that's just having a bad day, but that's just another generality. So another thing is, when you contact a servicer, I would say that what you're going to want to do is read online reviews. Angie's List is one of the better ones, but you can look at Google reviews or Yahoo reviews. There's a number of different online sources to read up on any given company. And so I advise my own customers to do this of me. If somebody contacts me and I ask, have you used our service before? And if they say the answer is no, oftentimes I will recommend, I'll say, well, I can schedule the appointment, but by all means, do some research. Look me up on the Better Business Bureau website or Angie's List. And a sidebar here, now that I've mentioned the Better Business Bureau, the Better Business Bureau is not a government agency. It is a private company that rates other companies. Now, here's the thing. If you use the Better Business Bureau site, what you're going to want to do is be aware of the fact that just because somebody is Better Business Bureau accredited does not mean they're a good company. Now, what do I mean by that? The Better Business Bureau is a for-profit company. It's just a private company. They will rate companies honestly. You know, if you've got a bunch of complaints with the Better Business Bureau, they'll give you a bad rating, but accreditation by the Better Business Bureau is attained through paying them. You have to purchase accreditation through them. To be accredited just means, oh, this guy paid me 20 years ago when I researched it, it was $750 a year. This guy paid us $750 a year for the accredited by the Better Business Bureau rating. It doesn't mean that company is good. In fact, there are a number of really bad companies in our area that are Better Business Bureau accredited. And now here's the thing, the way the Better Business Bureau rates companies, they will, if you get, let's say I get a couple of complaints on the Better Business Bureau, through the Better Business Bureau, all I have to do is make an attempt to correct the complaint, and the complaint goes away. So for instance, a customer can leave a complaint, and all I have to do is make an attempt to resolve it. You know, call the customer and say, is there anything I can do to resolve this? No, there isn't. Or give me a full refund. I'm unhappy that you were late. Or, you know, whatever the complaint is. And if you can't come to terms, it almost doesn't matter. All I really need to do is contact the Better Business Bureau and say, this complaint, I made an attempt to contact the homeowner to make a reasonable restitution, and they were unwilling to work with me. That's all they need. Or I can even tell them I made an attempt to contact the homeowner and they never responded. And at that point, the Better Business Bureau will cancel out that complaint. So, for instance, at least in our area, Sears is a company that has a lot of Better Business Bureau complaints, hundreds and hundreds of them, but they still don't have a bad rating, or I haven't looked them up recently, but because they've made an attempt to resolve these complaints. So it's quite easy to have a good rating with the Better Business Bureau, but through sources like Angie's List, it's impossible as a private company to skew the numbers. Angie's List is just paying members that leave reviews of companies. I, as a company, cannot pay Angie's List in any way to remove any complaints. It can't be done. In fact, I got one complaint on Angie's List. I think I have 76 or 77 reviews on Angie's List. I got one F review, and it was because a customer was upset with a warranty company that sent me out, and they were taking it out on me. And I contacted Angie's List and said, everything that this guy's saying is a bunch of lies. Look at all my other reviews and you'll know it's not true. What can I do? And Angie's List basically said, there's absolutely nothing I can do. I would have to take the man to court, sue, and prove my point. Because any person that leaves a review on Angie's List they own that. That is their intellectual property. They own that. And neither I nor Angie's List can remove a bad review. So what I had to do, Angie's List said, well, there's only 5 reviews on a given page. Once you have 5 positive reviews, it'll push the F review off my front page. And so eventually I got a bunch of positive reviews beyond that, and it pushed it off the page. But it opened my eyes to, wow, Angie's List, you as a contractor cannot skew things at all on Angie's List. So Angie's List is a good one for consumers to look at. Also, I would say that when you contact a contractor, they should be upfront with you about their service rates. Oh, I charge X amount to go to the house, I charge this much, per hour or per 30 minutes or whatever the rate structure is, of time, plus the equipment that's needed, and they should be very upfront with you. With me, I can generally give a customer a guess right over the phone of what the complete repair would be. Oh, your gas dryer isn't heating. It's going to be X amount, between this price and this price total, depending on which part is bad. Part, labor, trip charge, tax, everything combined should be within this window. If a company refuses to give you any kind of rate quote over the phone, don't hire them. Also, if they're evasive about other information, like number of years in business or whatever, don't use them. I would say that, so generally speaking, stay away from companies that start their name with the letter A. I would also say that a friendly telephone operator is important. They should be upfront with you about their rates and more than willing to answer any questions that you might have for them. And here's the thing. I, as a servicer, recognize that I'm stepping foot in somebody's home. If you as a consumer bring, say, your car in for service, you're bringing it into that facility. You don't necessarily mind if the mechanic, I don't know, if he smells or if he has a poor attitude or what, I don't know. You know what I mean by that, though. You want good service performed by that particular garage or service center that you're bringing your car to. But when you're hiring somebody to come into your home, honestly, let me say it this way. If a contractor shows up at your house and you feel uncomfortable with him, by all means, feel free to tell him, you know what, I'm uncomfortable with this. I don't want you in my home. Because, again, you are inviting essentially a stranger into your home. And also, more often than not, it's the lady of the house that's home. So, and most servicers are male. Not always, but most are. So, typically, it's the housewife that's home. And this is some strange man that she's inviting in. And I would say that you should always feel very comfortable with the individual over the phone. You should feel comfortable with them when they greet you at the door. And I, as a contractor, am very cognizant of the fact that there is probably some nervousness, some trepidation that the homeowner has, especially if it's a lady that's at the house there letting me in. And I'll do another video on how I handle being a service tech in somebody's home. And but just bear in mind that you as a homeowner are inviting this person into your home. They should be held to a higher standard than just a normal auto mechanic or whatever. I think anyone in business should treat their clients well, but I do believe there is a higher standard that should be achieved or striven for by a contractor that is going into your home, being welcomed into your home, and providing service for you there in your home that you live in. I don't live there. I'm just being hired to perform a service while I'm there. So anyway, those are some general tips for you. There are other specifics as well. I would say, obviously, well, it's obvious to me, it may not be obvious to you, but make sure that the technician is familiar with the particular product you have, and let him know. Say, I have a specific brand. I have a Maytag front load washer. Are you familiar with Maytag front load washers? Now, some contractors may be rude about it and say, I do this for a living. Well, if he's that rude answering a simple question, maybe you don't want to hire him. Honestly. But make sure he's familiar with your product. There are a number of companies that specialize in things. There's certain products I don't fix. So I like it when a customer says, hey, are you familiar with Sub-Zero refrigerators? I say, well, I have a limited knowledge of them. What's your symptom? Or do you service Gaggenau or Wolf ovens? No, I don't. Those are considered exotics. Let me refer a good, honest contractor to you that can service that appliance for you. But they may contact me. I had a customer the other day. Do you know GE Advantium built-in ovens? Yes, I do. And they're like, oh, you're the fourth person I talked to and the first one that knows anything about it. I said, yeah, I know all about that. So it's important to know that the contractor you're hiring is familiar with the product you have, that they're willing to answer questions that you pose to them over the phone, and when they're at your house that you feel comfortable with them. My wife says there is what she calls the creepy factor. And she said that there's just certain people that she has run across in her life that are creepy to her. She says, I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about this person or that person that just doesn't sit right with me. If you feel that way about somebody, feel free not to hire them. I mean, some personalities just are, you can tell there's something about them. And in this day and age of public safety concerns and you hear about different things, bad situations occurring, whether it be some form of assault or just being taken advantage of and the bill, being overcharged or something. It's really important that you research the contractor that you're hiring, and also look at it this way. More often than not, once you've hired a contractor and you're in any way pleased with the service that they provided, you're probably going to hire them back. So this isn't just one repair that you're researching a contractor for. More than likely, you're going to be using that contractor repeatedly in the future. And I believe that warrants extra time to focus on picking the right one. So anyway, those are my thoughts for the day. Let me know if you guys have any specific questions. Thank you, everyone, for emailing questions to me and asking questions in the comments section. I'll do my best to answer whatever I can. Also, if you're looking to buy a Tesla, my referral code will be a link in the description below. They have quintupled the free supercharging credits for the next month for referrals, so bear that in mind. Anyway, you guys have yourselves a great day now. Take it easy.